What is going on, guys? Today I'm very excited to dive into Datavault AI, ticker DVLT. Currently, the shares outstanding around 285 million, the market cap just under $600 million right now, and the cash position at around 1.1 million. They burn about 7 to 8 per quarter. Now, when we take a look at the Q3 highlights and corporate update, I didn't see any mention of the balance sheet, the current cash position. So I just want to be mindful of that. They have very low amount of cash per dilution tracker. They burn around 8 to 9 million currently. They have a $50 million ATM with Maxim open at the moment. So not saying that they're going to raise money, but I just am unaware of the current cash position. That's something I always focus on first in any company. It doesn't matter what sector, small cap, large cap. That's always the first thing I go to. But just want to, again, just make a mental note of that as well. In terms of their revenue, it grew over 148% year over year to 2.9 million. They have many different things in the pipeline. We see a slew of news that I'm going to post on the screen as you're listening to this update here. And they raised their 2025 revenue guidance to a low end 30 million, raising their 2026 guidance to 200 million, which is a lot. It's almost 30% of their market cap currently. So that's really interesting that the company is looking to scale and really accelerate the business. Again, that's why I'm bringing it to your attention. So revenue for the third quarter ends September 30th, 2025, up 148%, increasing 67% sequentially from Q2 2025. Now, what I want to look for as we see each quarterly update every 3 months out is to make sure the company's on track to accomplishing that goal they set out to. So every time we see a new update, I'm just going to make that mental note of what the quarterly revenue is and what they would need projection wise to stay on track to that 200 million. I think everyone should be doing that as well. The company's putting it out there. They're definitely optimistic. They're forward looking that they're going to achieve a very big target. We want to see if that's possible. Now, they also signed a $10 million worldwide licensing agreement with NASDAQ ticker SCLX to monetize genomic, DNA, and therapeutic data assets. They're also tapping into the RWA real world asset sector as well. Currently, dozens of contract negotiations worldwide with owners seeking to tokenize assets such as gold, diamonds, rare earth metals, carbon credits, commodities, and that represents a multi-trillion dollar addressable market. And we still have another 12 to maybe 16 months until we get to the end of 2026. So that's kind of going to be my time frame for price targets, expectations, really to see the business grow. I don't like having such short-term mindset, where people have to see massive change in the next 24 hours. I think that's kind of silly. And we want to see a business, if they have the capability to grow into a multi-billion dollar market cap, it's going to take some time. There's a lot of competitors out there. And we want to, again, make sure that we could really see the maximum potential unfold. When we look at the financials, as we mentioned from the Q3 report, up around 148%, we need to get those margins higher. Per dilution tracker, again, there's so many different sites and different data. I'm just going to use dilution tracker. They have about 3.3% margins. They need to get those up tremendously. That's, again, just being critical of any business. And we really want to get towards that path to profitability. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm not going to say in 1 quarter or 2 quarters, but if they are on track to do 200 million annually versus, 2 to 4 million, which we've saw in the past, that's around a 30 to 50x upside. So hopefully, with that being said, with that type of guide and that forward-looking optimism, we could see a path to profitability. That would really be the goal for me. Now, in terms of the balance sheets, the company doesn't really have any long-term debt, so there isn't this massive risk. I know we see so many clouds and other different semiconductors that have tens or hundreds of billions of debt. We see like OpenAI and Oracle is a very big name that people have so much fears and concerns about for the debt. And that's something I always bring up as well because I know the analysts scrutinize it. So it's something like this stock, you don't really have any long-term debt unless, again, they report something different in the next quarterly update. It's not a major concern that I would have at the moment. Now, in terms of the target price, we have some analyst targets over the next 12 months. You're seeing about a $3 target. It's around a 50% upside. I do think that is very conservative, but that would take the market cap somewhere around maybe 800 million roughly. And again, more on track towards a billion. So if we're at like, say, 578 million market cap, I would like to see the stock be a minimum of like 450 so that we can get into that 1.5, maybe $2 billion range. I think that would kind of be fair for this company, especially with that type of growth that they're projecting. And again, as we take a look at the volume here, average volume 75 million. That's a lot. It's very liquid at $2, the 150 million just in the stock alone. So just something to make a note of that there are smart money, institutional level investors definitely playing in the stock, whether they're trading it up, making a market here. It's definitely hot right now, up off the 52-week low 700%, but from the 52-week high, it's down 50%. So stocks run very hard, then they pull back, they correct, they stabilize, and they continue higher if the momentum in the overall trend is bullish. Now, as we take a look at the chart here, I pulled up a 30-day window. We have the 52-week high and the low of the range. $3 is the bottom, 410 is the top. We're sitting right at around $2 flat, which is smack middle in the range. As we mentioned, 50% pullback from the high is usually a good indicator to start keeping it on your radar, to start looking for a potential reversal. However, we do have some downside targets, 169, 147, that double bottom 103. Upside levels 220, 260, 295. 338, 366, and then the top retest of 410. I think personally, when we get above this high here at around 295, we could really see that momentum continue, possibly retest that 52-week range. Now, if we get a break above $4, I think that's when we could really start to accelerate also. Now it's continuing that trend, validating that bullish momentum, and hopefully institutions now see that real value and they're recognizing the guidance and the projections that the company's putting out publicly. As we mentioned also before, a lot of volume, right? We go in the daily, we're seeing tens of millions of volume, traded 23 million shares, not but a few days ago, traded 140 million, and the stock was up tremendous. It went from 169 up 60% in one day off again, 139 million shares. Very, very liquid name. Okay, so it's obviously been beaten down a lot, as you could tell in the past. We've had a nice consolidation, stabilizing for around a year. It had a really nice breakout. Now it's pulling back, and we just want to make sure that we could stay strong to this trend line. And I really like to use the 4 hour here. If we start to break this trend line down, that's kind of why I have my targets there, 169, 147, 101. Say it breaks down, it could potentially do something like that. Try to stabilize here first. We don't know exactly where a stock's going to go. If I knew where every stock was going to bottom and top, I wouldn't be here. This is all just a very good calculated guess on where we've seen historically other stocks make similar moves. So this one's very interesting. Again, your upside here, I think, is a great risk to reward. Definitely getting near the bottom, trying to stabilize, build higher bases, which again, in the big picture, when you zoom out, is bullish. Now, before we wrap this video up, I want to recap my best call out ever on this page. Cidara Therapeutics, ticker CDTX, just got acquired by Merck for over $9 billion. Back in April of 2024, we gave this out at $10 a share or 45 million market cap. We saw the writing on the wall with two unusual pieces of news. The first one was a PIPE, private investment in public equity, from RA Bain and Canaan Partners, $240 million. Again, that's a massive multiple in equity compared to the valuation of the entire company. The second was they bought back their drug from Johnson & Johnson for over $90 million. That's a 7x multiple in equity raises just based on the company's value. I mean, this absolutely insane. The writing was on the wall. No one wanted to pay attention because they want overnight success. And these institutional investors, smart money whales, accumulated massive size in this business for over a year straight. They probably own 20, 30% of it. Wouldn't shock me if they made over $1 billion on the exit. That is what investing is all about. And if you want to join a winning team where we identify these companies before the public does, head to our website, avidcapital.co/discord. Again, avidcapital.co/discord. You could join our private group. It's $40 a month, roughly $1 a day. I know so many people, they complain about monthly subscriptions, but if you can't afford $1 a day and your goal is to make tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars, then it's just not the right group for you. We don't overcharge. We're way more than fair. And this is not an alert-based group. This is not buy this, sell that with no explanation. This is a educational teaching group. We really break it down from our mindset, our perspective, the metrics that we look for fundamentally, technically. This is how you can set yourself up to be successful, a plan tailored to your needs, your account, and more importantly, becoming self-sustainable so that you don't need me, so you don't require anybody else to make your decisions for you. That is the goal of this group. And if you want to be a part of something incredible, this is a very diverse group of many different backgrounds, all levels of experience, options trading, long-term investing, gold and silver. I mean, anything you could think of, we offer it there in our group. So if you want to be, again, part of something special, head to our website, avidcapital.co/discord, and we'd love to have you. Now, last thing really quick, I know this video is getting long. I want to take a look at Gain Therapeutics, ticker GANX. We just gave this out around a month ago, both in the Discord and publicly on Twitter at around a $1.50, $1.70 range. It's now up 100% within the past month. You could have traded this range up and down for the past 12, 24 months and made 50 to 100% with ease. Now, my perspective is not to encourage the scalping or the trading. I really like this as a long-term investment, but this is just showing you one of the hundreds of opportunities that we give out in our private group. This is something where you could really change your entire life, change your perspective. So many people join our group. They're losing for years. They turn it all around within a few weeks. They have no idea how that's even possible. Any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Besides that, have an amazing night. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.